What we wanted to do is connect two things. So the first, from a partnership board perspective, as the public and private sector, Coastal West Sussex have spent a bit more time continuing on the work Ian had previously done in the partnership board, looking at how do we better create 3 or 4 key strategic priorities and drive a select few things as opposed to trying to manage the lot. One of the things that, probably not surprisingly, that falls out, and listening to it today just resonates even further, is how do we grow for the next decade, for the next 2 decades, for the next 3 decades, the right science, technology, engineering, maths capability in our primary school students, even students that are probably in lower nurseries right now, so that they feed the pipeline for the next 10 plus years. So I've got a confession to make. I actually am an engineer. I've been an engineer probably since birth in terms of always wanting to figure out how things go together, as I'm sure many of us in the room are. And I think from that position, sitting running a manufacturing operation right now, it just reiterates the importance of that development. This is not about starting anew. This is about accelerating and integrating a lot of the brilliant work that is already happening in a number of parts of Coastal West Sussex. So it is, how do we gain momentum? And someone used this in the introduction, which is spot on, as opposed to how do we begin? There's a lot of great things that we can learn from in terms of other Big Bang events. There's a lot of local engagements between schools and businesses that are working very, very well. The idea here is how do we provide an umbrella or a context that allows momentum to be built to partner businesses that are quite interested and obviously have a burning platform to grow talent for the future with the young and emerging talent across the Coastal West Sussex area. A little bit about how the organization kind of fits. So in terms of supporting the LEP, the Coastal Capital LEP, and the 5 different areas, with one of them being Coastal West Sussex, it is a bit unique in that we operate a partnership board setup where the 5 chief execs and a group of business leaders will interact probably on a monthly, twice, 3 to 4 times every 6 months perspective. The aim here is to understand the business voice, to understand the public sector offering, and to make sure that we have as best possible alignment. This is one of the areas where the activity here began to originate. And in the initial work that's been done earlier in the year, Sheila came and presented a bit on some of the skills challenges seen from the colleges and universities. One of the themes that came out from some of the basic research that we did, as well as some of the interviews, as well as some of the voice of the customer feedback, was spreading the benefits of economic growth. So how do we take some of the overheating of Brighton and Hove and others and benefit in this Coastal West Sussex area? Most of the area, at least in the east of Coastal West Sussex, is commutable. Skills, which is exactly why we're here today, and particularly in STEM areas. Providing the homes, yet protecting the crucial parts of the protected land that make this area so special and so desirable to live in. And finally, improving connectivity. So getting to a point where we're starting to tease out what is a 30-minute journey from Portsmouth into parts of the eastern part of Coastal West Sussex. So these 4 areas are where the partnership board is starting to coalesce or starting to join as areas of focus. I won't spend too much time on this, but in terms of where do we want to go and why, the idea is the right skills in the right quantity at the right time to allow economic growth in Coastal West Sussex. It sounds so simple to say, but you start to do some of the sums, as Sarah and others have outlined, and you realize that the maths just don't add up. No pun intended. But the actual pipeline of talent flowing through is insufficient to support the businesses around this room today, let alone in the future. And what do some of the experts say? Now you can see some of the words written behind me. I'm kind of trying to move through this at a bit of a pace so we can get to Mike before he needs to get on. But actually there's some challenges on the screen. How do we turn those challenges into opportunities, recognizing the area of natural beauty here, some of the surrounding areas, Chichester, Portsmouth, Brighton and Hove, and actually drive those as additional economic activity into the area? How do we grow locally and actually then keep many of those students who would have grown up in the area, love the area, but because of not having the appropriate jobs are then exported out of the coastal West Sussex area to London or beyond? So what can we do to bolster economic activity here to retain that talent locally, as well as to accelerate the pipeline of new STEM students for the future? In terms of the challenge, I think the slide probably says it all, and we've talked about it through the course of Sarah's presentation as well as the beginning here, but also the opportunity. So 3 top 2 universities, a number of businesses represented in the room to come in off hours to engage, a real ambition shown certainly by the 5 chief execs, and certainly a spirit from the partnership board and others to bring the private sector to the table to make sure that the voice is heard, not just as part of the reflection a number of the private sector folks around the partnership board have had, not just when they refuse to agree to a planning application and we make a bunch of noise and we say no, but actually getting us to the table for things like this to make sure that we're making a positive difference over a 3 to 5, 10, 20-year period.